Welcome to episode 4 of North Stars Noise. I'm your host, Rob Leonard, and the North Stars had a banner week this week in the OLA Senior B Lacrosse Loop. But before we get started, a couple things I want to mention. June the 17th, mark that on your calendar, this coming Saturday at the Bayshore Community Center in Owen Sound, starting at 3 o'clock, is an alumni event. All former members of the Owen Sound Senior B North Stars, the Owen Sound Woodsmen, and the Owen Sound Junior B Flying Dutchman are invited to the event at the Bayshore Community Center. Not sure which room it's going to be held in yet, but I'm sure the hundreds of people that are going to be there in attendance will give you an idea of where the festivities are being held. And also the North Stars are extending an invitation to all the fans that want to come out as well. So the North Stars game that day starts at 4 o'clock. You know, after the game is done, head on down to the room, to get to meet and, you know, to renew friendships again with some of the North Stars that have played over the past 50 years. All right, so remember, June 17th, this coming Saturday at the Harry Lumley Bayshore Community Center, Alumni Night. All right, let's take a look at the action from Friday night. The Owen Sound Senior B North Stars at home to the KW Velocity. We've got all the goals from this one. Velocity fans, and I believe you've got, there's a goal.
That's what they've got to do. Start it real quick.
Milnes. I know.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Jordan Cascanet getting on that floor. In fact, he's out there right now, number 23.
Clofer scores! Leaves it now there for number 23. Ball comes in, shot, scores! Number 16 for Owen Sound, Zach Coulter. Cascanet takes a look, he's got some space. Cascanet scores!
Good for Jordan.
Jordan Cascanet. Here we go, here's a breakaway, Drew Barfoot. Barfoot scores! And in front he does, trying to find some space, and there's the shot, but that just misses. 1 second left, fires, that ball is in.
That
what
was in
a
before
shot.
the goal, yep.
Brett Clofer. Now the North Stars setting up, 6-0 lead. Here's the shot, and scores. Robbie Milnes gets his second of the game. Here comes the shot, Maudsley just misses. Here's Clofer, fires and scores. That guy has got one heck of a shot. Glenn.
Oh, I'll tell you.
What a great passing play by the Owen Sound North Stars. Comes over to Coulter, back out to Maudsley. Fires finally.
He finally buried one.
Maudsley finally gets his goal tonight.
We'll raise that up. Not that fast.
Here's a shot, scores. Hesseltine, who's been all around the goal tonight, finally breaks the goose egg. North Stars working the ball around nicely. Here's Greer, shot, scores! There you go, Todd Greer.
Well, you said, Todd's going to get that first one. Made him pay the price.
Here's Elder all by himself, shot, scores!
You can see that you know exactly what Lachlan was going to do.
Greer's looking, puts it to Clofer. Clofer fires and scores! Goal number 4.
We said earlier, when you're hot, you're hot.
Tries to find some space. 10 on the shot clock. Here's Hesseltine. Hesseltine with a shot. Referee blows the whistle, and it's a goal. 15 on the shot clock. Childerhouse plays it to Maudsley. Maudsley fires and scores.
Yep. He's starting to get his range. That's what he needs.
The Owen Sound Senior B North Stars win this game over the Kitchener-Waterloo Velocity by a score of 13-2. And as you can see, the Owen Sound Senior B North Stars had their guns all firing on Friday night in Owen Sound, defeating the winless KW Velocity by a score of 13-2. Goal scores for Owen Sound in this one. This man is on absolute fire right now. Brett Clofer with 4 goals. Newcomer Colin Maudsley with 2. Robbie Milnes with a pair. And Jordan Cascanet would score 2 in this game. Jordan playing in his very first game as a call-up from the Junior B North Stars. So congratulations to Jordan Cascanet on your first 2 Senior B goals. Todd Greer, Lachlan Elder, and Drew Barfoot would round out the scoring, and veteran Kenny Colson would record 4 assists on the night. So Owen Sound doing exactly what they had to do, and that was fill the net with balls, and they certainly did that against KW. Now moving on to Sunday afternoon, Owen Sound was in Brooklyn for a return match with the Merchants. The North Stars had defeated Brooklyn earlier this year. The North Stars went into Brooklyn and won by a score of 11-4. Colin Maudsley with a pair. Brett Clougher keeping up his pace. He scored a pair. Zach Thompson with a pair. Mike MacLeod, Robbie Milnes, and newcomer Riley Thompson. Riley Thompson was a member of the Orangeville Junior B team who won the Founders Cup last year. So this was his first game as a member of the Owen Sound Senior B North Stars. So from everyone in North Stars land, Riley, welcome to the team, and very glad to have you on board. Kenny Colson would record 5 assists in this game. That gives him 9 assists over those 2 games. So great job all round for the Owen Sound North Stars in those 2 games. Excuse me. If we could just go to the league standings now. Now taking a look at the league standings, the Rivermen of Six Nations on fire, 10-0. The only team to really come close to them this year have been the Owen Sound North Stars. 2 games that they've played, Owen Sound's only lost by 1 goal in one of those games in overtime. The Oakville Titans still rolling at 7-1, sitting in second with 14 points. The North Stars, on the strength of those 2 wins, are in a 2-way tie with Ennismore for 3rd spot, but Owen Sound has 2 games in hand over the James gang. So those 2 games very important for Owen Sound in a quest to try and catch those Oakville Titans. Brooklyn Merchants, obviously in a rebuild year this year, sitting at 2-7. Last year they won the league, they won the championship, and went on to represent Ontario at the President's Cup. So again, sitting 2-7, obviously in a rebuild year. KW Velocity sitting at 0-11. Expansion team, you know what? There were some signs of a decent team on the floor, but again, it's their first year. They showed up with 20 players for a game in Owen Sound, an 0-9 team at that time, and they played from the opening whistle, or the opening face-off, until the final whistle. There was no, you know, in a blowout game, you expect some tempers to flare, maybe a little bit at the end, but there really wasn't anything to speak of. So hats off to the Velocity, and good luck to them down the road. I'm sure before this season's out that they're going to at least put 1 W on the board. Owen Sound plays them, I think, once or twice more or so. Let's hope it's not getting against Owen Sound. Okay, let's take a look at the Stars' leading scorers. A new man at the top, and this guy, as I said, has been on absolute fire. 8 games played, 21 points, and 6 of those goals coming in the last 2 games. Scott DiFrancesco has been absent the last few, sitting behind by a point at 20. Newcomer Colin Maudsley, look at those numbers. 5 games played, he's got 16 points. That's an average of just over 3 points a game, 11 of those being goals. Rookie Zach Coulter sitting in 5th spot. He's having a great season at 14 points. Then number 7 spot, let's look at Kenny Colson. Veteran Kenny Colson, 9 assists, and those 9 assists came over this past weekend. 11 points. Another rookie, Lachlan Elder, sitting there with 6 goals and an assist for 7 points. All right, now let's take a look at the league's leading scorers. And Jeff Swift has moved into the number 1 spot from Ennismore. Brendan Muse had been holding that spot for a good part, if not the entire season. He's played 3 less games than what Jeff Swift has at this point, but congrats to Jeff Swift sitting on top with 46 points. Then, of course, you've got quite a few members of Six Nations. Danton Miller having a great year. Tom Montour getting it going. And Roger Weiss, of course, sitting there with 26 points. Rod Squire, a name we haven't seen in there yet. And now 2, not 1, but 2 Owen Sound Senior B North Stars sitting in the top 10 scorers. Brett Clougher sitting 1 point ahead of Scott DiFrancesco And we'll see how Scott feels about that when he sees that. It may get him home here for the weekend for the games coming up, which is what we will see next. Not many games left in this season. Owen Sound with back-to-back games coming up Saturday at home to the KW Velocity. That's going to be a 4 p.m. start, special time start there, because it's the Father's Day annual minor lacrosse tournament in Owen Sound. With all the festivities going on, they're going to start at 4 o'clock, and then you'll be able to see that on Rogers TV starting at 4. And it's a double-header day for Rogers, because then at 8 o'clock, we're going to be showing the Owen Sound Junior B North Stars playing against Welland at 8 o'clock. So, and now some big games coming up for Owen Sound. Those two games against Oakville, very, very important to the Owen Sound Senior B North Stars. Those two games should decide whether Owen Sound is going to be able to catch Oakville in the standings. Right now, they're within shooting distance of Oakville. If Owen Sound can come out of that with winning both games would be beautiful. But if they could get a split out of that, they still would have a really good chance at catching Oakville for second place. But they also have to worry about those final two games of the season against Ennismore. They played 2 games in Ennismore earlier this season. Ennismore took both of those games, so Owen Sound will need to do the same when Ennismore comes back to Owen Sound, and that will finish off the season. So I guess now it's time for Reach the Stars, and our featured player this week is Mike MacLeod. Let's hear what Mike had to say to the 10 questions. All right, question number 1. What or who inspired you to start playing lacrosse?
Well, lacrosse has been in my family for many years, so it's kind of just something that was always there when I grew up. So I haven't known anything else but lacrosse.
All right. Number 2, from fan Braden Dyer, wants to know, do you hope to play in the NLL someday?
Well, I was fortunate enough. I've had my little stint in the NLL with Toronto and Edmonton, so I can knock that one off.
All right. There you go, Braden. There's your answer to that one. All right. One player who's either retired now or past or present that you would like to play alongside if you had the chance to?
I'd have to say my grandpa, Harry Kazarian Sr.
One of the pioneers of the game here in Owen Sound. Big part of the North Stars 50 years ago.
Yeah, I know, and there's been lots more of our family that have been a part of the North Stars, and hopefully will continue throughout the years.
All right. In a war, which teammate would you want fighting alongside of you?
Well, after watching Van Dam's one punch last weekend, I'm going to throw his name in there, Jordan Van Dam.
Saw the video. You made a good choice right there. All right. The best team you've ever played on?
I would have to say our first President's Cup team that I was a part of in 2007? No, 2007 I think it was.
Okay. All right. And hoping for that this year, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's always the goal, and we've added some bodies here this year that'll just contribute to what we are building on from last year. So.
Okay. Your favorite pregame meal?
Spaghetti.
Spaghetti. Teammate with the strangest pregame ritual? Everybody picks on the goalies, think they're weird or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Our goalies are pretty normal. So I don't know if it's a ritual, but our, I guess going back to the goalie situation, our Ryan Oldreef, he has been wearing the same shoes since midget lacrosse. So it's pretty strange.
That's they got to be pretty right by now, I would imagine.
Yeah, I've never gotten close to them. So.
All right. The North Stars turned 50 this year. How special is that to you and the team?
I mean, personally, it's huge. Like we touched on, my family's been involved with lacrosse going way back. So it's a big moment for lacrosse in the city, and lacrosse is a big part of Owen Sound. And for this team, I think it just gives that extra little push too to, want to go after that cup again and get some excitement around the team and.
All right. And if you could send a message to the fans as to what they can expect from this year's team.
Well, we're going to be exciting, and you know, we're going to show up to work every night. And you know what? People are paying to be in the seats, so we're going to give them a show.
Right on. Okay. And finally, anyone you'd like to say hello to?
I'd like to say hello to my grandma Kaz, Grandma Diesel.
And we want to thank Mike MacLeod for doing that with us. And as Mike alluded to, his last name's MacLeod, but he has that very strong Kazarian lineage, and so many fantastic lacrosse players, starting with Harry Kazarian Sr., and then right down the line to the present-day Adam Jones, having a great career in the NLL, playing for Saskatchewan this year. So again, the Kazarian's a huge part of the lacrosse landscape for those 50 years that the North Stars are celebrating this year. So, and in that same vein, the North Stars have a raffle draw that they are selling tickets for right now, and it's the 50th anniversary draw. Great prizes up for grabs. Tickets are $5 each, or 3 for $10. The first prize, people are going to love this, a wheelbarrow full of alcohol, bottle upon bottle. I think there's, I think they said at least 20 bottles of assorted alcohol in this wheelbarrow. You would imagine they let you keep the wheelbarrow along with it. Second prize, Leafs are playing great. They're maybe on the upward swing, so this is a great prize. 2 tickets to a regular season game for next season for the Toronto Maple Leafs. That's second prize. Third prize is a golf package for 4 at the Saugeen Golf and Country Club, and that includes 2 golf carts, so you can put your wheelbarrow of booze in the back of the cart. I don't know if they allow that. Yeah, you can do that. All right, and the fourth prize is a North Stars mini beer fridge by Molson's, and as I said in the last show, I would imagine Molson's might throw some beer into that fridge for you. If not, they darn well should. Okay, so next game this coming Saturday at 4 o'clock. You can catch the game live on Rogers Channel 53 in Grey County. If you miss it there, you can, the following day, Rogers has it loaded onto the Rogers YouTube page, and there's the address right there, rogerstv.com/senior-lacrosse. They charge, it's a pay-per-view, $2.99, $3. And you can catch any of the games that we've done this year. If you want to watch that first game at home against Six Nations, that was a fantastic game. One of the best games that I've seen in a very long time. Worth the $3 if you want to take a look at that one. But all the games that Rogers does this year will be available at that address that you just saw on your screen. Okay, so for producer Mark Perry, I'm Rob Leonard. Thanks very much for joining us, and we'll see you next week on North Stars Noise.